right, we're live. Hey, this is Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories. I'm here today again with John Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing good, thank you, Sue. How about
Awesome.
yourself?
I'm doing really good. Starting to feel like alive again.
You got a good glow. You got a good glow to you this morning.
Oh, good, good. Thanks. Yeah. Um, for those that are new to this station channel, we're going to be talking about the book John wrote, Stolen Identity. Okay. I don't know if you can see that well. It seems like there we go, better. And we're going to assume you've read the book and or watched the earlier videos because that does tell the details of the story. I get a lot of really basic questions about the story, and it's kind of all in here. And we've also talked about a lot of the details, but if you could read the book, it would be very helpful. So, what's happening on your end, John? How are you doing with your event, your road trip plans?
Um, I'm getting discouraged. I
Mhm.
really am. I'm getting more hindered on TikTok, and I started a YouTube channel. Um, I'm doing okay. I reached my 1,000 subscribers where I can go live on there now. I've done a couple lives. People can go see those live videos, and but I believe I'm being hindered on there also. Um, I advertised on TikTok, thousands of people, and my live yesterday was I think I had 30 in the audience. Um, I want to share my story to 300,000, not 30. Even though one that hears my story is a huge achievement. But it gets me discouraged knowing that there's people out there that don't want the biggest story, as far as I'm concerned, of this century, to be told that the United States government has been overthrown with identity theft. It's not getting out. There's people that are hindering it and blocking it, shadow banning it, and it really needs to get out. I did my live yesterday. I got upset from some of the questions. Um, my purpose in life is to wake up America to what's really going on, to share the story. Hey, I'm John Kennedy Jr. I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was tortured by government. This is what our government is doing to take over power, of the people. And when I get asked questions that don't have anything to do with it, it gets me upset. And with all the other things, um, but that's the most important. That's my goal in life right now. I work at it every day, because America's in trouble. The world is in trouble. Organized crime, these people that pre-plan murders are running things. Um, it's so huge. It needs to be out on the media. It's not, because these people control it all. So I get discouraged. I got big plans like this motorbike ride, um, just for the biggest photo op to get my story out, and then I get hindered and hindered and hindered, and do a live, and I'm sharing to 30 people, and it's like I said, I need to share to 300,000. I don't want to spend, me and Robin have spent $30,000 to make this happen. I don't want to spend the last pennies I got in gas money to do this and have five people show up to support our government, our country. So I get discouraged, but I'm still pushing forward, still trusting in God to make it happen. Um, hoping we get lots of energy flowing, and get it going. The future of America matters to me more than life itself, and it's not getting out. It's not. I mean, we're trying, we're doing the best we can, but the powers that hinder us are putting their powers in play because they love the money, they love the control, and they don't want it out. It's that freaking simple. They don't want it out. They like what's going on.
This is one of the hugest stories out there. Like it's the one of many. I mean, there's a lot that we haven't uncovered yet, but think of it this way. In the public eye, they assassinated your dad, okay? And then they switched you. And again, we didn't have the internet back then, but they switched you in the public eye, and they've really carefully laid out a story. They brainwashed the citizens into believing a story. And the people are having a really hard time unbelieving it or changing their belief system, right? They don't understand. And even when you tell them, they're skeptical. Like they're like, well, why are you doing it now? Well, again, read the
Oh, I blew up on that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
blew up on somebody. It was all in my live. It was all caps lock. You don't answer this question. Why are you doing this now? And I've heard that so many times. You're doing it now because you're a hindrance. It's a distraction. I love that one, distraction, because it's like, what? You can't fucking chew bubble gum and walk at the same goddamn time. How am I the distraction to any fucking thing? But they love throwing that out there. So I blew up on that comment. It got my blood pressure going through the roof last night. Um, you know, I was told I would be killed. Federal government agents in 1975 told me I'd be killed if I did anything. If I shared this story, I would be killed. But the thing is, if I shared it to anybody, they would be killed. Not just me, and I know our government is that fucking powerful to do it. Why didn't I come out? Because I was fucking in fear for my life. I only have one life. I didn't want to lose that life. And
right.
they use that on many, many people. So that was one factor. But 8 years ago, I was ready to die. Thought I was dying anyway, and it was like the world needs to know before I die. Um, you know, all the things they had done to me, but it is that important. It, it, it's huge. It really is.
It is huge.
Um,
If the story didn't have any merit, why would they even bother trying to censor you? Right? Like, look at the guys that are out there with false information, disinformation. They're claiming this, they're claiming that. People are flocking to them. Of course, their numbers are going up, some organically, but some, they're plumping the numbers. We'll put it that way. So that's not an organic following, but because they see such big numbers, everyone's like, well, they must have the truth, right? That's the way it works psychologically. It's not true. The people with the truth are being censored, right? And you,
yeah, and they're putting so much spin in it. There's so much
yeah,
spin.
yeah.
It's unbelievable what the comments I get. Oh, your father's still alive. Really? I never saw my father after he was assassinated. He was assassinated in front of the whole world. Yeah, there could be a few questions, just like the moon landing and every other thing. But I never saw my father again. And the factors to that spin they're putting out. Murder is forever. My father was murdered. I'm wanting justice for that murder. But if he was alive, he was never murdered. So that puts a icing on the cake for these criminals. Well, he's still alive. Our criminal organization didn't murder him. He wasn't murdered by our government. Bullshit. And then you look at the other factors. My father was in poor health. When I was 3 years old, I had to get a pillow and place. I was taught to put a pillow in place of my father's chair where he was going to sit down to cushion his butt. He had back problems. I believe he had diabetes and every other thing. But he was in poor health. The the average lifespan of a male in this country, we don't live forever, just like Elvis doesn't live forever. And the spin they put on Bob Joyce. And with that said, they throw this spin out there to make people disbelieve. Elvis is still alive. Sorry, Bob Joyce. He already said he wasn't Elvis. But that ring, um, with Gene Ho, I believe is his name, is the editor of George Magazine. George Magazine was called George Magazine because John Kennedy Junior wasn't a Kennedy. He had no Kennedy blood. He was organized crime. Organized crime put him in my place to launder millions of dollars. Well, they put it in your face. He said, well, I'm going to let everybody know my real name's George. I'm going to start George Magazine. That's how these satanic cults work. So you get Bob Joyce, Elvis, you get Gene Ho, the editor, you get Donald Trump Jr., you get David Strait, you get all these people. Next thing you see is John Jr. standing on Mount Rushmore. It's all spin bullshit, and they're all the same ring. And
Right.
I'm exposing their ring for the criminals they are. They need to stop their bullshit. I'm the only John Kennedy fucking Junior. I'm the only one there ever was. The one that they knew was a criminal, part of the same crime ring. And Henry pulled up some great, great pictures. If you pull up these members of the crime ring, like George Onassis, John that replaced me, you'll see Donald Trump, you'll see Maxwell, and you'll see Epstein, and you'll even see freaking Robert, Kennedy Jr. You'll see them all. It's all the same. And it's so freaking huge. But these people are our shadow government. They really are. And MK Ultra is a huge factor in all that. These people in government and our shadow government that have, I can't get this off my mind. I personally saw a general being put under MK Ultra. We were on a military base, and I believe it was Betrayus, but he was a victim of MK Ultra. He was actually being told what to do by our shadow government. I'm a personal eyewitness. So how does that affect America when the generals? Because you got to earn your rank all the way up to the top to become a general. And when that general, just like the presidents of the United States, are being put under MK Ultra by our shadow government, the people that are standing in the shadows telling our presidents what to do, like Donald Trump, like Biden, and all these other people that aren't even who they say they are anymore, wearing masks. Our Secret Service, the shadow government, is the ones running the show, and
Right.
they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about all that fucking money so they can fly around in their jets so they can control and take and steal and keep stealing. It concerns my heart so much that Americans don't have the opportunity to hear what the fuck I'm saying. They're shadow banning us. They're blocking us. But like we said, this is the biggest story of the century. Assassination of my father, the kidnapping of me, the assassination of my family, the Kennedy family, and all the takeover of everything by people who aren't even who they say they are. They're satanic secret society. And guess what, people? You're paying their bills for them.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the bottom line. They basically they help someone become famous, like a celebrity, a politician. They promise them all sorts of stuff, then they switch them out and take the money and the power and the control that they have. But they've done that on steroids in your case. They've taken all of the Kennedy money. It sounds like the Onassis money. You know, and we're talking millions and billions of dollars, but also the control. So there's still some in positions of power that are not who they claim to be, obviously. We're seeing that come out all over in, not only politics, but entertainment, music, movies, everything. And people are starting to see it, and they don't really understand the big picture, I think, yet. This is a huge thing, huge. So we've been
The,
so brainwashed and influenced. The movies, the magazines, the books, everything, the music. We think someone is a certain way. We follow them. We implicitly believe what they say, and there's an agenda there.
yeah, I am so concerned, Um, straight up honest, I'm willing to give my life for my cause. And the big picture is what I am concerned about. The big picture, what they have done all these years preparing for their big picture. It's all pre planned. Their
Right.
murders are pre planned. They are pre planned years in advance, just like the Communist Party has pre planned many things. Um, the pre plan scares the shit out of me because what's the
Yeah.
pre plan? To take it all, to
Yeah.
take everything
Yeah.
and enslave us all, just like my father's quote. It's concerning to me.
Right.
Yesterday was Memorial Day. and the people that have fought and died, um, it's huge. Their families and what the families have gone through for these people, and to know in my heart, it's been taken over. The United States government has been lost, and what are we going to do to fix things? What are we going to? We have to do something. So I get so frustrated and so freaking bent out of shape when I know, I know personally what's going on in our government. These people aren't even who they say they are, and their plans. And I get so frustrated knowing that I'm sharing, and every day I'm sharing, and they got us in a bubble. Our story's not getting out. I don't get contacted by anybody but these people in this bubble, and it's usually about 30. Um, the support for those 30 has been great, awesome.
Right.
But we need to bust that bubble. We need to get out to the real world out there and let them all know shit's coming down. Shit is coming down, and it's not going to be pretty, not at all. And we need to take our forefathers gave us that right to form a militia, the right to bear arms, to take our country back from our enemies domestically. And that is in the Constitution, and that's what's been done. Our enemies are now domestic. They now reside in Washington, D.C. Um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
I
I
should have just said it all right there. I should have.
Yeah, you have said it all pretty much, but basically, I think what we said before is this is my opinion. We have to work at the grassroots level, get the book out there, get the information out there, wake people up, talk about the story, and the people at the top have no interest in helping get the story out. They're
Oh
the
no.
bad guys. They're the bad guys, right? We have to start at the bottom, the common person, reading the book and showing support, telling their neighbor, asking the library to order the book, sharing the book with others or giving it away. And then, of course, this and other videos, you're doing a great job with putting your content out there. You're really out there. It's just people can't find the channel on
Well,
purpose. Yeah,
it's not me. It's really not me.
right,
It's people like you. It's people like these other lions that keep sharing. We're being hindered and taken off just like they can't find the channel. And when they
right,
do subscribe to that channel, they're automatically taken off. But it has gotten out this big because of people just like you, Sue, and these other people on TikTok, these people believers that know and hear and realize, hey, we got to do something. Um, and we really, really do. We
yeah, yeah.
But I
I,
get discouraged with the comments when I go live and somebody asks me about the Pope or the financial banking system. I don't care about none of that. I don't, you know, I'm in Arizona in the middle of the desert. I don't have conversations with the fucking Pope. I don't care. My thing is trying to share. Hey, I'm John fucking Kennedy Junior, and I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was put in witness protection program. Government agents killed my family. They said, hey, I can't do anything or I'd be killed. I'm trying to share that with the fucking world. I don't care about the damn Pope. The Catholic Church, my father was Catholic. I was raised in the Catholic Church. It's just another spin on these people in power and how, you know, the big thing with the Catholic Church that I learned was they molested these children because these organizations build up armies of children to do their dirty works for them so they can sit in the shadows and have people work for them. And that is all I fucking know. I'm a personal eyewitness to that. But how many popes are there? How many body doubles of the Pope? Hey, ask me about a cactus or a lizard. My dog was out. I took my dog out. It was funny. I took my dog to the doggy park right before the show, and there was a lizard on a rock just kicking back. I was like, "Yeah, that's a cool lizard." My dog tried peeing on him.
that is funny.
I was like, poor
Yeah.
lizard.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Keeping
So,
it real, keeping it real.
yeah, yeah. So, I get a lot of questions like, are running for president. So we've got someone in the shadows. Okay, there's a clue that says they're, JFK Jr., that they're going to run for vice president, like with Trump or whatever. And like everyone's excited about that. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
isn't that crazy?
why wouldn't, okay, if you were interested in running for politics or the real JFK Jr., why doesn't he come out and say what his platform is? Why does he hide in the shadows? Doesn't anyone like think that's odd?
It's all odd. I
Yeah,
can't even figure out why they're even throwing that spin out there.
yeah.
Somebody said in a comment on my YouTube this morning, I was reading it real quick, but they said there was actually Navy footage of John being rescued on a ship. Well, if you've heard my story before, they rescued me. I was in shock. I was floating in the ocean. They see, in short, I was on the plane in 1999 when my stepbrother George died. I was there. Um, I survived that crash. I was floating in the ocean. I was bleeding. I was injured. I went into shock, but I was rescued. And I was in shock when they pulled me on the deck of that ship. And somebody said, "Oh, well, we saw footage and it's like the Navy destroyed it." Well, if they're thinking George was being rescued, I'm setting it straight. That was me. The footage was of me. I'm here. He's not. But what happened then was George didn't want this story out to this day. My stepbrother didn't want me exposing anything. He wanted to shut me the fuck up. So they were going to a wedding. They were taking me to that wedding to kill me, to have me murdered at that wedding. Straight up, there's still people at that wedding that are out there and alive that were probably planning my murder. Well, the people, John, George, whatever you want to call him, my replacement, fucked up. He was organized crime. He was in the mafia. You don't kill another mafia member in the mafia to climb the ladder, just like John Gotti did. He had the Russians do his killing, so they exposed him. No more John Gotti. It's the same thing. George and his wife were evil. They wanted to climb that ladder so fast. They wanted all that free money. They wanted Jackie's millions and millions of dollars. They got it. They got it, but the mafia likes to sit back and watch. So their plans was to cause that plane to crash. There was a quarter stuck in the hydraulic line of that plane. George is on a quarter. Mafia hit right in your face. Well, I've had a lot of thinking about that, and they wanted to take us all out in one shot, cover up the whole fucking story all in one crash. My body would have never been found. Well, guess what? I survived. Fuck you, mafia. Fuck you, shadow government. I'm sharing my story, and so far, I'm showing them, and it's in their face right now, right here, in your face.
It is clear to me that you have been protected throughout your life, even though you've had a lot of rough stuff happen to you. You've been through a lot of pain and accidents and torture and this and that, but you've been protected because you're supposed to be here to expose this. You're supposed to expose this. And so we're just doing baby steps right now. You know what I mean? I think that pretty soon you're going to have larger steps with a bigger audience and more details, and it's going to blow the world away. People are going to be,
I sure hope so. I was
yeah.
trained in my book. I have Wayne, um, but I was taught. I was born in the White House. Um, Jackie would take me to the Pentagon, and they would run tests on me, intelligence tests, and they'd give me a square peg and say, "Put that in the hole it's supposed to go in." And I was just a child, and I put it in the fucking round hole, and I don't know why, but the mathematical genius that was in the Pentagon was like, I remember him telling my mom he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna cut the mustard. Um, but hey, guess what? That square peg fit in that round hole just fine for me. Um, but I was trained my whole life. Um, I met everybody I could possibly meet. I went through all the branches of the military. Um, it's huge, the training. I asked Wayne one time. I said, "Hey, I'm not getting the schooling. I never went to school to read the history books, even though when I did go, history was my favorite. Um, I always seemed to get the books I needed to learn and was taught what I needed to learn. And Wayne even said that we're going to teach you what you fucking need to learn. And I had a lot of very intensive teaching about how the Secret Service works, how organized crime works. Um, I'm witness to many, many things. Um, it's all knowledge. It's all knowledge, and they say knowledge is power. I'm still waiting on that power part, but I was taught so many, many things that most people don't understand, and I don't have all the questions by far, but I do know how these sneaky motherfuckers work, and it's really huge, and it's right in your face. They love putting it right in your face each and every day. It's like, and they get away with it. People are so brainwashed. Um, I wish I could just go like this and people would wake up, but it's not happening. Somebody sent me a little clip, Julian Assange. When I first heard his story, you know, that he stole all those secrets and everything, I was like, fucking traitor should be hung and shot. That was my first thing I said. Julian Assange, for doing what he did, he should be hung and shot. We're so quick to judge, just so fast. And if I was on the internet back then, I would have posted the motherfucker needs to be hung. I would have done that. But then you think about it. Bill and Hillary Clinton. He stole files on Bill and Hillary Clinton. And he wanted to expose these criminals. I want to expose these criminals for what they've been doing. So right away, my thinking after I learn all this is, well, maybe he shouldn't be hung and shot. But then he went to Russia. He went to Russia. Now he should be hung and shot straight up as a traitor. Not, you know, that's my personal opinion. He did what he did to expose our criminal organization, but to expose that criminal organization and take it to our enemies, the communists that have spies trying to take over the United States government. No, we don't want Russia taking over the United. We already have a regime, just like Russia, just like China. And I even mentioned, these regimes, if you're in China and we're speaking out like we are right now, I'm speaking out against our government, I would be executed. Straight up. They would take me in the courtyard. They would fucking kill me. That's China. That's Russia. That's the Communist Party. So when he went to that party, um, big red flag. I would do what I could if I was in power to try to save that man. But what he did going to our enemies it's huge. Um, yeah, but in his quote, and it's so true. The more lies we're told, the more bullshit that we're fed, year after year after year, day after day, we become soft to it, and then we start believing that bullshit. Um, he's so right there, but it is bullshit. We need to wake the fuck up and realize the government ain't for us. They're for themselves. They're for the caviar and the champagne and the private jets and the limo and the limo drivers to drive them around and fly their little flags on the front of their car. It's not for us. It's not. There was a post too. Showed an old rundown trailer. It's like, hey, that trailer is better than anything I've ever had. But it was a rundown trailer house and it had a big Trump flag on it. And it's like these people that live in poverty thinking that Donald Trump is going to pull us out of poverty. He did not make his billions and billions of dollars thinking about us living in a fucking trailer house in poverty. And actually, in reality, he made his billions of dollars because he committed murder and identity theft. Straight the fuck up. I'm a personal eyewitness to this. Donald Trump is not Donald Trump. He acquired his billions of dollars because he took Donald Trump's fucking life. It's a vicious crime ring at the top. It really is. But yeah, you won't see a fucking Trump flag in front of my little trailer house.
Well, and think of what Trump is. He's a real estate developer, but like he's got casinos, gambling, lots of money, and probably a lot of nefarious stuff happening behind the scenes there. But what I wanted to say is, we can talk about Trump and we always get bashed for it. But what I wanted to make the point of is both parties here in the US are corrupt. Doesn't matter who you vote for, the person's already been chosen. They've got a plan in place, and it's not for the people. And so,
They are selected, not elected. Straight the frick up.
yeah,
When I bash Trump, it's I'm bashing Biden too. I'm bashing the government system and the shadow
government
government that
system.
runs it all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got a comment the other day, and I've got more than one of these comments. That comment was, well, if Donald Trump, your cousin, was murdered and replaced, could Donald Trump still be a good guy? Really? An accessory to pre-planned first degree murder, the theft of fucking billions of dollars, the deception of Americans on what is really going on. Is he a good fucking guy? Should I even have to say a fucking word? Is Donald Trump a good guy after all that? Really?
Yeah. So it's just another deception. The whole political thing. Look at, we're all arguing about the candidates and their platforms and what they're going to do. None of that's real. And it's actually kind of sad and shocking when you realize that. Like we're taught as kids that we've got this democratic system and the people vote and blah, blah, blah. None of that's true. Again. So we were just talking about the political system, how both in the US we've got two main parties and there's, a third that's ineffective. Both parties are corrupted. And then we took a short break and we were talking about how there's way, way, way more agencies and agents in the US alone than we're aware of. And John was saying how he ran into one a few years ago. So it was super interesting. And he was saying there were 55,000 more agents in the CIA than is disclosed or whatever.
Yeah, I actually was doing research, like I was saying, like 20, 25 years ago. It had been a while.
Yeah.
And how they work. The secret societies, their intel is really, really good. But yeah, in my research, there was 55,000 Secret Service agents.
Yeah.
That was, they're not on the payroll, but they're there, and
Right.
that was 25 years ago.
Right.
But it's really huge what we're up against. Not, these federal agents need to wake up and realize, hey, I know you're working for our government, but who are you really working for? That's the thing, because more than likely that person you're working for has been replaced by somebody else pretending to be that person.
Right.
I can't stress it. I can't stress it enough.
And a lot of
So
these
true.
agents are intel providers, like on YouTube or whatever channel on the news. They're out there putting out the disinformation or even controlled opposition on purpose to confuse the people, to mislead the people, and to give them false narratives. So, again, we're told a story, we're told it over and over. We think we know the person. Like, let's say it's a movie star. Okay, they're in positive movies. They always have a happy, uplifting role. We always think they're like that in real life. It's a psychological thing. Oh, we think that person is so good. Not true. some of those people are evil. It's actually
Oh
pretty
yeah, and
shocking, you know?
what Hollywood can do anymore.
Yeah.
I was in Hollywood. My Hollywood name was Richard Steele. They were building me up in many things. I was on many shows, many programs. That identity was stolen. It was simply, and I'm going to explain how it works, people. So pay attention. My name, Richard Steele. The name, Hollywood gives you a name. They say it's for protection, but what they did in my circumstances, they had a kid named Richard Steele. He was, I don't know, 8 years older than I was at the time, or whatever, but they gave me the name Richard Steele. Jackie paid Hollywood and people in Hollywood to make me a Hollywood actor, a Hollywood star. So I did all these shows, Adam 12 and Green Acres and Mayberry RFD, My Three Sons. I was in a movie, Egg Roll with Doris. So many. They simply took me out of the, gave all my credits to another guy named Richard Steele. It has worked with my military career. In government, you climb a ladder to achieve your ranks, and it goes all the way to the top of the ladder to general. Um, I had done many things to help our country. Nelson Mandela was one of them. I met with Nelson Mandela. I talked with the man. I got to know about the man himself. We were sitting on a park bench. Me and Nelson Mandela were sitting on a park bench. Two armed guards come walking by while we're sitting on that. That man started trembling. That man had been thrown into prison, and I knew exactly how he felt. I could relate with what he was. I could relate with Nelson Mandela. I was sitting there. These men armed walking by. Nelson Mandela started shaking like this at the sight of these armed guards with weapons. He was shaking. He was trembling. He was ready to get his ass kicked. He was ready to be tortured. It was all in his head. And they passed. And I said, Nelson, guess what? You're president now. I said, you imagine those guns they were carrying? You know what happens to a weapon when the barrel gets shoved in the mud and they go to try to fire that weapon? I told him that weapon's going to blow up right in their face. I said, you're president now. You have no worries. And he laughed like hell. But
What
the credit I got for talking with Nelson and being there, somebody else took that credit that I was even there talking with Nelson Mandela. Um, they still, these people are murderers in government. They are thieves. If somebody does a good deed in our military to achieve the rank in military, there's somebody there to steal the credits from them. It's identity theft at the highest level. And that has always pissed me off. Um, just the fact. I think I even got banned for telling that Nelson Mandela story one time. Identity theft is huge. They steal
where were
everything.
you? Where were you? And like about when was this that you were talking to Nelson Mandela?
I don't even remember. I would have to, it's been so long ago. Um, I would even have to look it up myself, what year and all that.
Right.
It was a long time ago. Um, it was when he was in transition of becoming president.
Okay.
Um, so I would have to look at the freaking dates. Um, yeah, I would have to look it up,
Okay.
but
Just wanted to ask, yeah.
it's I wanted to throw that out there. Um, my military experience that I had in the military. I know I get a lot of comments. Um, this man's never been in the military. Um, I actually was in the military in all branches, just enough to learn, just to get a taste of it. Boot camp was hell because I had to do boot camp after boot camp after boot camp. Um, but I was on the front line, and my weapon wasn't an AR. It wasn't. It was a Russian weapon. because we weren't supposed to be where I was. It was an AK-47, and I was a child, but the crates of AK-47s would come in for the squad I was in, and my job was to get the grease out of the barrel. And these AK-47s had writing on them. They were soldiers' weapons, and it was all in Russian. But if that weapon was found, um, the United States wasn't there.
Right.
But there was many things I have done that aren't recognized because they don't want the American people to know what was going on.
Right.
And it's so huge. I could tell stories after stories, and to be disrespected like that. I'm not claiming to be a war hero or anything else, but I've done my part for this country. Um, I've tried to help the best I can, but yeah, on a mission, you know, I had to throw my ring in a box, the ring I wear, throw it in a box just in case I was shot and killed or captured. Um, I wasn't there. There was be no Robinson. I was sitting with my shirt off. On my side, there's a little dipper. My father was called the Big Dipper. I was called the Little Dipper. So there was a federal agent that actually tattooed a little dipper on my side right here. And I was sitting with the shirt off, and Robin had her camera, and she's like, I never saw that before. That's a little dipper. And I said, yeah, that's actually a tattoo. They used brown tattoo ink and put a little dipper on my side. And when they did that, I was told because if I was ever killed and they took off my head and my arms or my hands or anything to identify me, um, my torso would have a little dipper on it. And that's how the Secret Service, would identify me because I went on some crazy missions. I'm thinking they didn't want me to come back alive. They threw me out. There's so much shit. They wanted me to come back dead, just like 1999 plane crash. It's
Yeah. In your book,
you
you
know
talk.
some if I was here myself, I'd have plenty of doubts. I really would. I'd say but if you people do your research, look at the childhood photos. All the childhood photos are of me. DNA is coming. But here's the thing: when I get asked questions about DNA all the fucking time. There's been people donating my taking fox. Here's the thing: what I'm exposing is a corrupt government that has the power to pre-plan someone's murder and take their life. They have the power to use plastic surgery, dental work, and get someone that looks like that person and replace them to steal their power, their money, and all their possessions. These people have that fucking power to do that. They put it right out in front of the whole world. What kind of power do you think they have over a laboratory doing a DNA test, people? After what I exposed, what they could do, for
That's
real.
right. That's right.
And speaking of throwing my rings in a box, I went to a flea market the other day, and there was a guy selling little stickers and a few rings. And I got that one right there, 81. Um, support 81. I support 81. The 81 protected me when I was a child. My family had been murdered. The 81, my brothers became my new family. They were protecting me, they were keeping me safe. A few lost their lives, and I just got a little fly in my coffee. I watched him just jump right in. But anyway, yeah. Much love and
Yeah.
much respect to the 81. That's what I got to say right there.
Yeah. We had talked last week, and you had said something, you implied that the military, the US military, again, we think it's all organized and by the book, and you climb ranks by doing a good job and being in there and blah blah blah. But you implied that that isn't the case, that it's very cutthroat, that people are murdered for their position and their power, which I have to say shocked me. I mean, I hadn't thought about that before, but again, if the military is that corrupt, at the top levels and or they're being controlled, that gives me very low confidence in what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it can be a cutthroat. I learned at a very young age.
Yeah.
I have the coffee pot. I have to go to my son's and get that coffee pot. But I was at a very young age. We got aboard a destroyer um, because the commander of that destroyer was killed. Somebody else wanted to tank his rank. So I learned this from a very young age. That commander of that ship was killed. And Wayne was there. I was there. Wayne brought me around, but he was poisoned through coffee, through his morning coffee. They killed him to achieve the power to climb up the ladder. But I was taught that at a very young age how that cutthroat shit works. It's so real. Um,
Yeah.
Not a whole lot I could say about that.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. I think
Um,
it's something
people
I
will do
have.
what they
Yeah.
people will do what they can to achieve that power. You got to remember the military, the generals, and everybody under them. They're not elected. They don't have a 4-year term. Our president, our commander in chief, is only there for a short time for 4 years. These people are always there, and they are in charge of big fucking money, big shipments of military supplies. Um, and if there's anything to do with warehousing surplus, I mean, you all have heard of the hammer that sold for $30,000 to the military. Everybody's heard that story. They do that um, to line their own pockets.
Yeah.
It's how it works. I was almost killed. Um, I worked on a dock. There was a Navy base down the street. I would go pick up a load from that Navy base. They would put a seal on it. I would drive that load from the Navy base to a dock. I would break the seal, open the doors, back up to the dock. That one load would pay $5,000. The military, the government was paying $5,000 to have that load I just picked up sent to Fort Hood, Bragg, wherever, but it was only one pallet in the nose of a 40-foot trailer, and the government was paying them $5,000. So I opened the doors, I back into the dock. There's more trailers in there. I say, well, this load's got 2 pallets on it. It's going to Fort Bragg. This one, the driver's going to Hood after Fort Bragg. So I would get all these other $5,000 loads, put them on this other trailer. So next thing you know, I just made a $30,000 load that the government is paying for the same trip. So the government is paying $5,000 for this one load to be shipped to a military
Yeah.
base.
Yeah.
I just made that one load $30,000 for the truck driver and the company to take it to the same exact place.
Right.
Um, and they almost killed me over it. I knew too much after I worked there for a while. They actually tried to have me killed. Um, I'll get into that in another story.
All right.
But that's how they can make money on everything. So organized crime just took $5,000 from the government. Then they just took $30,000, and this was going on every single day. You imagine making $30,000 every fucking day off our government for something that originally was only supposed to pay 5,000. Um, that's how it's done. I'm a personal eyewitness to that.
Wow.
And while I worked there, there was a fucking I believe it was $36 million missile sitting in a residential area in Pennsylvania, right in front of the whole fucking world. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit doing here? But it sat there, and I stayed up, I don't know, 3 days, keeping an eye on that, making sure nobody came and stole that freaking missile. But I believe they were trying to sell that $36 million missile to someone, but it sat right in front, right in a residential area in Pennsylvania. I got many stories, many stories.
Was that missile outside?
Yeah, it was right on the back of a trailer. It was in a crate. It was in a big military, green crate. And I was like, why is this sitting here and nobody's claiming it? Nobody, they just dropped this here. So I went and I found the paperwork, and right on the paperwork, after I, looked in it, it said missile, blah, 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 ballistic missile, cruise missile, or whatever it said, value $36 million dollars or whatever it was. And I was
Wow.
like, this is just fucking sitting here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
Well, and one thing I wanted to clarify is that not all military people are corrupt. Okay, so we already know that. Okay, but there is a lot of corruption in every area of life. And I guess my shock was that we think the military are like so structured and all of that, just like our government, and that is incorrect.
And
Yeah.
like this bubble I say we're put in. I've been sharing my story for years, and I don't get anybody from the military joining in my chats, or the
Right.
ones I do are, you've never been in the fucking military, blah blah blah, or this. But I don't get actually people in the military chatting or saying, hey, I'm in this unit or that, or I don't get it. Just like lawyers or any other thing, we are being suppressed in this fucking bubble, and I believe the fucking government supercomputer has a lot of that shit to suppress us on. I mean, they know. You go to, I go to the dollar store to buy a pack of cigarettes. They got to scan my fucking driver's license anymore. And then if you want to get the deal at the grocery store, you got to get one of those grocery cards. It is all huge, but they know we shit out in the fucking
Yeah. It's
straight
all
up. They're
designed.
getting so much intel on each and every one of us. Why? Why is all that intel being done? Um, like I said, the future is very concerning to me.
Yeah.
It really,
Yeah.
really is.
We already know that they're tracking us and recording every purchase we make, everywhere we go. They can record everything we see in our homes, and it's scary. We should be scared.
And that's for each and every American.
Yeah.
Um, just think about me. I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy Junior. My father was a president. My whole family was murdered. I'm exposing that. I'm sure they got fucking bugs up my ass. Um, yeah. Um, they're watching very, very closely. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And that's why your channel is being monitored, suppressed. And whenever we start to talk about something super important, we lose the line or it gets corrupted or whatever. It happens all the time, you know. Yeah.
Um, and these people that are doing it need to really wake up.
Yeah.
They really need to wake up. They need to see the big picture. These people hindering and blocking and doing the shadow banning. Uh, they got to live here too when the shit comes down.
Yeah. When you take a step back and you look at society, you can see the corruption in every industry and how things don't even make sense. But again, we're kept busy. We've got our cell phones, our entertainment, our this or that, our jobs, and we're rushing around like ants, right? So we don't have that time to take the broader view. We're only doing the little compartmentalized job that we're taught to do, not thinking about the bigger picture. How does it affect the earth, the people, society, whatever it might be? And so, again, we need to take that broader perspective and look at, all right, we think we're having fair elections. That's not true. We think we have healthy food. Not true. Medical care, not true. Like every industry is corrupted. All right. So it's getting more and more in our face, like you said. They're doing it in broad
Yeah,
daylight in our face.
there's society. Um, most most people in America, they're on a schedule. They live by that schedule day after
Yeah.
day. They get up, 5:30 in the morning. They shit, shower, shave. They have their piece of freaking toast. By a quarter after 6, they're out the freaking door. Then they're stuck in traffic for a half hour. Then they get to work. They do their job all fucking day. By the end of the day, they go to by the grocery store. It's all fucking routine day after day. If they miss that routine, they're fucked. They can't pay their rent. They can't,
Yeah.
survive. So they're stuck in this routine over and over and over again. And then when they get home, they just want to have dinner and go to bed. They don't have time. They don't care about the news, the social media, and when they do watch the news,
Yeah.
it's all what they're supposed to be told
Right.
anyway. But it's a routine, and our government loves that routine. It's
Yeah.
almost like, it's all controlled just so these people do that so they can get their money,
Right.
and they don't want them out of that routine. So many people in that routine, I'm glad I'm in that routine.
It's that little hamster wheel, where you keep running, you never get anywhere, and then life goes by and you miss it all. So it's really having your eyes and ears open and noticing that things aren't what we're being told or whatever. And we
That
do,
hamster wheel is so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
I
we
was
do,
told
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was told my whole entire life. I always wanted my idea, by what I saw when I was young. I just wanted that house, white picket fence, wife. I wanted a pig, a dog, a chicken, a cow. I wanted the simple life. I wanted to get up in the morning and feed the cow. On the weekends, I wanted to ride the horse. I just wanted the simple,
Right,
simple life. I was lied to so much over and over and over again by these federal government agents. I was living in poverty, struggling, becoming a truck driver and everything else, not settled down, not even having a home for 30 years. Still don't, living in a trailer. But my point is, I just wanted the simple life. I was promised so much, well, next year you're going to get that ranch. The one that was stolen from you here. The Kennedys had a lot of fucking money. The Onassis had a lot of money, but I was promised, well, you're going to get that ranch, and we're talking nice ranches. But I was always promised these things, and it was promised, just like the
right.
Q plan, go with the plan. I
Yeah,
was year
yeah,
after year after year, and I'm sitting here right now going, I'm 63 fucking years old. I went with the plan. I went with that fucking plan. 50 years went by that I was going with the plan. How much longer can I live? I'm an adult male. What's the life expectancy of me? Not much longer. I'm not gonna live for freaking ever. The life expectancy of me. So I went with the fucking plan. My life is gone. Um, I just want to enjoy the few years, maybe days I have left. But my point is, don't go with the fucking plan. Live your life. Quit waiting and expecting false
yeah,
promises from these people.
right,
But yeah, I was promised. I was lied to. I went with their plan over and over and over again. And their plan was to shut me up while they stole billions of dollars from my loved ones. That's their plan.
right.
It sucks. Their plan sucks.
Yep, yep. Their plan sucks. I agree. Yeah, so I think the people watching this now are awake already. Like they're already aware of what's going out there. So maybe we're preaching to the choir, but again, we're going to have new viewers, new people that are like, "What? The government's not honest with us? Oh, they don't have our best interests at heart." Oh, this story could be real.
And for the viewers, like I've been saying, we've been placed in a bubble where the
Yeah,
truth only gets to so many people within the bubble. If you can figure out a way we can bust their bubble and get this story out, please
yeah,
share it. I am open to so many ideas, but my story should be world. My story, everybody I feel in this world needs to know my story. They need to know what I've experienced and learned that I'm sharing, and they're not. So if you can find a way, somebody said bumper stickers and t-shirts and this kind of stuff in a comment I was this morning. Well, that's all great, but I don't have the money, or I would have already done it. Go buy bumper stickers and T-shirts. I think I've given away 6 or 7 books this week alone. These books cost me $20. I don't get a discount. I don't. They cost me $20 that I don't have. I'm on a limited budget. So when I give one of my books away, I'm praying that that person shares that fucking book with somebody because it's costing me. I don't have it. I don't. But if you can figure out a way, just like my reviews on Amazon, they're free. The people leaving the reviews weren't paid to leave the reviews, but Amazon, the reviews are a great source of free advertisement. Please read. I had a video taken down in a strike the other day because I took screenshots of all the reviews. I made a little short video and I got a warning strike. My video taken down for sharing the reviews. They don't want the story out. So
Right,
please
right.
read the reviews, check them out. But if you can find a way that we can burst this bubble of the regime that we live in now that's controlling us, please share. Please let me know. Yeah, the idea of things and merchandise to purchase to get them out is a wonderful idea, but I would need some good sponsors, and we're not getting out of the bubble to the American people that might want to help our good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, and we've shared your Cash App link in the description below. So if anyone's called to assist John in any way financially, he would greatly appreciate that. And again, if we can promote the book. So I was driving around the other day and I saw a bookstore I hadn't noticed before. I'm going to go into the bookstore and say, "Hey, can you guys carry this book?" I haven't done that yet. I've only worked with libraries because I use the library a lot myself. But anywhere that offers books, even used bookstores or whatever, a lot of times they have things that they'll feature, and just getting the story out there.
And
One,
I want to thank you for sharing the Cash App.
yeah,
Um, I don't like asking for money, but all the candidates, all the presidents, they all do it. I never liked sitting in church watching that collection plate getting tossed around. I'm not for that, but when you our last interview, you put the Cash App there. A guy named Tony sent me $100, and I just wanted to thank you, Tony. If you are listening, it was a blessing having that $100. It was absolutely awesome. You're so much appreciated. $100 goes a long way. I know how to stretch out a dollar,
right.
and I'm a couple $100 short on some more advertising for my trailer. I really payday's coming real close, so that's coming up next. But I want to put a couple more stickers of my book on my trailer, and I want to go down, drive Las Vegas Strip, honking my fucking horn and see the response I can
Yep.
get. And I'll be sharing, word of mouth on the street, and I'll ask people to sign my trailer. I made a big sticker. I paid this guy to make me some stickers. It says "We the People," and under "We the People," it says "Declare the United States government a criminal organization." I want to get people to sign it. If you see me, please sign my trailer. Ask me, say, "Hey, I'm in Arizona. Come sign my trailer." I'll meet you somewhere to sign my trailer. I'll be happy to. We need to get out old school, however we can do it. I
Right.
figured that was a good way. But in the 70s, Bill and Hillary Clinton declared biker organizations criminal organizations. They put it into law. So the Hells Angels and the Outlaws and other, all these other organizations where there's good and bad, but we're talking these organizations, toys for tots, good things also. Our government declared them criminals. Americans, just because they're riding a bike and being in a club, declared them criminals. Well, that really pissed me off back then that the people that were saving my life, protecting my life, me being the son of an assassinated president, declaring my brothers criminals, pissed me off. So I'm sharing my story now, and I'm declaring the United States government, and I'm making it public, are the real criminals. And hopefully I can get 1 million signatures on that trailer. I'm hoping, I'm praying, because justice is for all. It really is.
I think you're
And
going
that
to have
fly
your
didn't
day.
do too much damage to my
Yeah, yeah.
coffee.
I didn't drink it. I think you're going to have your justice, and I think the people watching this want you to have justice. So we're going to share it around and help in any way we can. And when you get the date ready for your trip, you'll let us know, and we'll help promote it as well.
I thank you. I was thinking that last night, I had that vision from God in my head to make this trip happen. I was doing my live and I was like being so hindered on my live, so blocked, so shadow banned. I'm like, we have put out so much money and it's going to cost so much money just in gas alone. And I want to thank King Smarty. He offered to pay for the gas, which is way cool. Um, but I don't want to do it until I know I'm not going to be in Arlington, Virginia with five people standing there taking pictures. This has to be a world event. That's why I'm planning it, because it needs to be a world event to get it out,
Right.
where the media doesn't want it out. So my idea in all this is to have so many followers, so many people there, making it a world event.
Right.
And so yeah, now after last night, I'm still stuck on the date. I don't want to
Yeah.
put it off too long, but I want to make sure there's people there and a lot of them
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that. So I just got to keep sharing until I know we got the backing. But when I'm doing live and there's 30 people, yeah, 30 people there would be great, but
It's
we need a
ridiculous.
we need a
No,
lot
no.
more.
I mean, for you need a crowd there, and we'll help share it for you. And this is a huge story, and it's shocking that so few are hearing it. I'm not sure if we're still live. Like I see on my phone that the live went dead. I'm not sure
Oh
if
wow.
it's recording or not, but it shows that we are. We hope we are. But anyways, the second you mentions King Smarty, boom, they cut us off. He has a great interest in meeting you and he wants you to come to Destin. I'm just saying it again. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that he'll help support you in any way he can, and the group that he works with will also help support you. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
we need support from the people.
Yes.
King Smarty, he's awesome, and he
Yeah.
showed me love and support. But we need the support of the people. We need to get the story out. We really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it feels like
I
we
hope we're still recording. So,
Yeah, me too. But I want to thank you for your time and your enthusiasm and your energy. Like every time we see you, you look better, 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 more invigorated. It's only going to get better. Things are only going to get better, and it's so exciting that I'm so grateful that you came out with a story, because we've learned so much about what happens behind the scenes that we might not have known otherwise. You know?
yeah, well, I appreciate you for all your
Yeah.
help. If you can send me this video after we're done, like you
Yeah.
have, I will share it on my YouTube.
Okay.
I believe we're getting a few thousand views on the ones that we've done already.
Yep. Yep.
It's awesome. At least we're reaching somebody. You're much appreciated, Sue. You
Well,
really are.
thank you. So are you. And again, I'm sorry that you had to go through what you did. And I mean, it made you very smart and very strong. And I'm sorry that when we have to ask questions, because it's gotta be uncomfortable to hear that over and over and over. But I think that, it has to come out. So we have to ask those questions. And, you have such interesting stories, so many people. And it's fascinating to find out what's happened behind the scenes right under our noses, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, it's huge. It
Yeah,
really is.
huge. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Have a wonderful day, Sue.
Bye. You too.